Hello and welcome to another video. So it's going to be really quick here today. I have some notes down here. I think I'm going to transition this video, but I want to get this part out because this literally just happened. And this dream I had consecutively. So I went back to sleep and finished the same dream. And whenever that happens, much like the last message that I gave you, I know that it is something that's important. It was about coming conflict. And like I said, the last message I gave you, I'll go ahead and link it, or you can go ahead and find it. It's literally the last video was about a coming conflict. This is something else that I saw. So in the dream, first let me tell you that when I went to bed, I was reading. It's like I woke up in the morning and I was reading Obadiah, and then I began to read Jonah, and then after Jonah, I read through Jonah, and then I began to read, I believe it was Micah, okay? So I'll put, just go ahead and find. Okay, they're all consecutive books, but they're very short books. Yet and still, Obadiah starts off with Edom being humbled. So it was not my intention. I didn't know that the Lord was going to share anything else about it. I was just simply doing like a nightly Bible study. But I can tell you that we're about to have a very humbling experience. So you guys know I've also experienced being in the military. So some of these things that I saw in the dream were just symbolic of this is happening. And I told you guys I've saw this before. Maybe it was sometime last year. And it was the first time the Lord began to show me things about very warlike things. And I was just really confused because I was no longer in the military and stuff like that just don't happen here. Okay. So I was extremely confused, but I heard the people saying, dress right, dress. And the Lord told me that there were enemy troops on the ground. Now, shortly thereafter, the war that is now in the land that we know to be Israel broke out. So God was really on time, as he always is. It was me that was confused. So now that I'm no longer confused, now that we're all no longer confused, well, the Lord says there are more things that's going to come up. And this is the second time I've seen a scenario like this. So like I said, I told you what I was reading. I went to sleep. In the dream, I'm laying back on the bed and I'm praying. I had just, finished my nightcap. I'm praying. I pulled the blanket up over my head, and there's going to be a lesson in here, so I hope that you hear it even if I don't stop and talk about it. There was a family conflict going on as well, and I was trying to ignore the family conflict and really focus in on my studies and really focusing on my praying time, because I realized not much was going to change about that situation. So like I said, I laid back, I put the blanket over my head. As soon as I laid back and put the blanket over my head, I heard a helicopter, and I'm under the blanket and I'm kind of like, okay, it was just, maybe somebody's outside and they got hurt or something like that. You guys know recently there was a hurricane here. You heard that. I believe they call it life flight, or sometimes the police use it when they're like on high speed chases and things like that. I'm like, oh, that's just that helicopter. It'll go away. But the helicopter kept getting closer and closer and closer to where I'm sitting in the bed like, okay, what's going on? And of course, the Lord began to speak while I'm in the bed. Then I get up from the bed and I look out of the window. Now, it's not my actual window, but I'm able to see what's going on outside, okay? And I see inside of a forest, troops beginning to set up what I know to be a base. So if you know anything about the military, if you know anybody who served in the military, they can set up a base anywhere. Like literally out of nothing, it can be forest. Next thing you know, they've got, tents, generators, campus. They got the whole thing, toilets, space to eat. They were beginning to set these things up after I heard this helicopter land. Then a man comes and greets me directly, and he's saying, we need 5 people. Now, the family members were telling me, don't go with him, we don't trust him. But the Lord was saying, you need to go with this man. So who do you think that I listened to? And I've been telling you guys this a while, that you're going to have to work out your relationships. The relationships that you have in your life right now that you struggle with, like you struggle to make sound decisions, y'all always arguing and things like this, like everything is just a mess. Yet you're totally depending on them, so you have to remain in the mess. You're going to need to clean that up, and you're going to need to clean it up quickly. Why am I saying this? Because this is the second time I've seen the helicopter. This is the second time. The first time I saw something like bombs being dropped. This is the second time, and each time I laid there like, Lord, you said this would happen. And the feeling was, this was very unexpected. So you need to remain prepared. Remain prepared in your dealings with people on a day-to-day basis. Because let me tell you that the man said I had to choose 5 people to come with me. And I selected 5 people very wisely. This is what I said. Nobody's going to be sitting around arguing with you. No one's going to be sitting around arguing with you. And the next thing, when the Lord was telling me to stay, I grabbed my daughter and another family member stayed with me. And I remember looking at my watch, so like the Apple Watch, and wanting to like report, like I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you right now. I remember wanting to do this, but the Lord was telling me it's no longer time to share your business, to share your life in that way, because these soldiers are camped here outside and they're able to monitor your actions. So if you don't believe that we're coming to a time, a society, a world where things are going to be very, very, very monitored, we're not going to be able to say and do just any old thing, anything you want to do. All this sharing of this day in the life, you're going to share your day in the life and people are going to be able to track you down exactly, okay? Exactly. I want you to go and watch some of the other videos of some of the things that the Lord said would be going on during that time. You don't want to be sharing all your business. And I know some of you guys have taken it upon yourself. Let me go ahead and close this. Have taken it upon yourself to be dancing for the algorithms. So you're dancing for the algorithms and you have made these day in the life videos and you just sitting here telling all of your business a part of your income. I'm going to go ahead and tell you to stop that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you you need to find like a real job. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that you really need to sit with the Lord and do some planning about your life, because you don't want to be found in a position that he told you to get out of 10 years ago. I'm telling you, this is where we're coming to. What we're coming to is you better be in your final stance. The stance that you're going to be able to be in until, not even until, while these things come about, while illnesses, while outbreaks, while tragedy, while these things come about, you're going to need to have some sort of stability. And the arguing with the family, and the being influenced by the family, and the being influenced by the friends who really don't have. Imagine the Lord telling you one thing and someone else telling you, oh, well, I don't trust them, don't do it. But the Lord is literally giving you information. And some of you guys are going to need to build up that stability in the inward spaces. And now is the time for you to do that. I made a video a while ago. I'm telling you guys, like, how do you get away? So let's say you're in a situation where your family is all you got. You're totally dependent on them. As I said in the beginning, you actually have to participate in some of their shenanigans because you don't have no money and you don't really have nothing going for yourself. Can I tell you that you can get something going for yourself? Can I tell you that the Lord is just as faithful as he is to me? He'll be the same kind of faithful to you, and you can get something going on for yourself. You don't have to sit in situations doing stuff you know you shouldn't be doing. You know it's less than the call that God has placed on your life merely because people are family. That's foolishness. And I'm telling you, it's not the time. It is not the time for that. It's just not the time for that. So that's what I want to tell you. I wanted to reiterate to you again, because like I said, I live here in America. We don't know nothing about no wars. We don't even, girl, you should have saw the people running around here for the hurricane, for a category 1 hurricane. It was insane. You should have saw how people, still right now, people have lost their minds. You should have saw how people were losing their minds. Imagine when there's a full-on war breaking out, how people would be losing their minds. But I'm telling you, it is coming. It's coming. It's coming. Whether it be a civil war, whether it be all out world war, whatever, it is coming. And it's going to be something totally unexpected. We won't see it coming. Some of us won't see it coming because some people aren't hearing messages like this as to say like, oh, something like this is coming up. So you're going to be completely taken by surprise. You're going to be seeing stuff here in your homeland, outside your window, that you only saw in movies. And can you imagine what kind of distress that will place upon you? Among not having a job, among, not being able to make ends meet, among not having food, among famine. Go watch that video. The time right now is for you to get your stuff. You should have had your house in order, because a clear separation is being made. The people who simply won't get it at all. The people who simply won't listen at all. I have had the Lord tell me so many times in the last few weeks even, don't warn her no more. Stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. Don't say it again. I've been trying to tell her for the last 10 years. I've been trying to restore the marriage for the last 10 years. It's done. I've been trying to get her to watch her mouth for the last 10 years. Don't do it. And you don't want that. From the God who is love, there's also many different names, okay? And many different persons, I'll say. And you don't want to experience God when he says, you know what? There is nothing that I'm going to be able to do to stop you from doing this right here. You're given over to stupor. So that's all. I said I was going to link another video. I was going to connect another video with this, but I'll just see you guys later. Okay. As always, if you have a question, ask a question, be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.